Alright, hello everyone, welcome to Tabletop Tuesday, where we talk about D&D stuff, tabletop stuff, and try to educate you on tabletop gaming, as well as talk about gaming, tabletop gaming news, if there's any news available, and we have a couple of stories today. Let me get a drink in real quick before we get started. Let's get our announcements out of the way before we get into the thick of things. Announcement number one. Our sponsor for the foreseeable future, Shockbite Gaming servers, link is down below. Their servers start at $2.50 a month and go up from there. Announcement number two, we're always attempting to help our artists. So if you want to please help our artists, and thank you, Glistening Fayfox, for starting the stream off with a fiery explosion, which is fireballing my goddamn tavern. So we're always trying to help our artists. So if you want to get your name added to the art list, by all means, please let us know. Send us a link. We'll add it. And those are the two. They're always looking for commissions. Please check them out. Thank you for also increasing my heart rate. Alright, so today is Tabletop Tuesday, which means we are going to be, like I said, be talking about tabletop gaming with my partner in crime, CandidGamera.
Hello, hello.
Alright. So, we got a couple pieces of D&D news, then we got a fun little feel-good story to make everybody happier, and then we'll get into our lesson after we get done with the dancing. I love that I found that little tune. It fits it so well.
It does.
And it was completely copyright-free. That
Very nice.
I was like, yes, that is great. All right, so story number one I kind of wanted to cover, and this is the least severe of the stories. As soon as, are you going to come up, or are you going to tell me to bugger off today? Oh, there it goes. Okay. This is my single-player Stellaris game, by the way. The first story, and this is the least of all of the stories, and that is, there is someone threatening to take Critical Role to court for essentially theft of a character. She's saying they stole her intellectual property of her character. And she said she will not, she will take this threat down if Critical Role allows her to be a guest star on their show. Yeah. It was just like, okay. The character is known as Opal, and that's the same in both cases. The person who is claiming this is a person who calls herself Freckled Hobo on TikTok. Hi, Ein. How's it going? And the person she's accusing of stealing her character is Ami Cario?
Yeah, I cannot help you with the pronunciations.
I'm so bad at names, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounce it. If someone corrects me, that's cool. My party killed 2 beholders in 3 turns. Nice!
Damn.
That's impressive. That is impressive. But she's accusing Ami of stealing her character. Now, there have been people who have weighed in on this, who are more legally minded than I am. Have said that this is kind of BS because Freckled Hobo's been live streaming her game that has this character in it, and she always described it as a really tan character until right before she wanted to do the court stuff, and then she claimed it was a person of color, where Ami's character has been from the get-go a person of color with opalescent hair. And they're both, I think, warlocks. I
think there's like a plague doctor mask design element as well.
Yeah, they both have like a plague doctor mask design, and they both have a similar personality, which is the spoiled rich kid kind of mentality. From what I've read. So, but let's be brutally honest. You can't copyright Warlock. You can't copyright having opalescent hair.
Nope.
And and spoiled rich kid meme mentality, background, whatever you want to call it, has been done to death.
Yep.
So I don't see anything here, and I kind of agree with some of the legal experts that have talked about this. That I found that said that there's not really a court case here.
Yeah, I am not a legal expert. I have read a lot about copyright and trademark law just because of shit like this and other things that come up in various fandoms that I'm in. And it's not a trademark. She has not, trademarked this character. You can't copyright an idea exactly. You can only copyright a particular expression of an idea. And unless they literally took her character sheet off the table and started using it, it's just similar concepts.
Yeah.
Marvel Comics. Oh, sorry. One example.
Okay, go ahead.
Is Marvel Comics and DC Comics have Man-Thing and Swamp Thing.
Not to mention also Captain Marvel.
Well, Captain Marvel's a whole different ball of wax. That's probably more time than we have on the stream tonight, because that gets into some fucky wucky shit.
Yeah, that doesn't look like.
But
God damn
it. Man-Thing and Swamp Thing are both swamp creatures made mostly of plant matter that originally were a human being that suffered a horrible flaming accident that bonded them to the swamp. And they have similar names, they have similar appearances. And they debuted, I think, within a few months of each other. And as far as anyone can tell, they were completely independently developed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the same thing. The big thing that really worried me on the whole situation was there's backlash on both live streams about this, and to be really honest, people need to chill.
Yes.
It's not as big of a deal as people say it is. I just wanted to quickly bring it up because it seemed a little weird, and I kind of wanted to cover that. She is also throwing accusations at Critical Role and other people of reverse racism though, as well. So that's being thrown out.
Reverse racism is one of those phrases that just makes my brain want to strangle people.
I know. It's so dumb. And I found the statements where she got that made her say this, and while I get where the people are coming from, it's still one of those things where it's unless the game is actually causing you harm, just chill out. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, she, I guess, got some static for being a white person playing a character of color. Well, suddenly of color.
Yeah.
Whether or not they were originally of color, that is, of course, under debate.
Yeah.
And, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and tell a person of African descent that they should not be offended by something. And if they want to pick this battle, great, but I think that this girl is going to be in for a world of shit from Critical Role fandom for a long time.
Oh yeah, and then it also doesn't help. I'm not sure if you saw the other video she did. She did a stereotypical goblin, like the hooked nose.
Oh God!
All those stereotypes, the greed, everything, and I'm sitting there going,
"Oh,
young lady, this is not a good look for you.
No.
Please don't do this."
And again, I can definitely understand people criticizing her for that. It's just at a certain point, though, you have to realize you are not going to change this woman's mind. If you can get through to her, God bless. But I think she does not realize how some of this stuff comes off to people.
Yeah.
It is not worth your time to really just drill down on her.
Some people were accusing her of clout chasing, and she's like, "Honey, I have 1.3 million followers. I don't clout chase." And I'm like, you can still clout chase at 1.3 million followers, especially if you're going after something, say, as big as Critical Role.
Yep.
Which made $9 million off of TikTok alone in 2020.
Yes, she is absolutely 100%. Well, no, okay, I'll say this. She is 99% clout chasing. The other 1% possibility is she's just crazy.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
There are people who get it in their heads like, I came up with this idea. You've got a similar idea? You stole this. I will believe that till the day I die, and there's nothing that can dissuade me. So she could be crazy. But if she's not crazy, she is chasing clout. And the fact that she said, I'll make this all go away if you give me a guest spot, dead giveaway.
Yeah, that was the dead giveaway. The other thing that makes me think that she's probably clout chasing slash kind of doing her own, like trying to do stupid, is the fact that she has been accused and has been proven that she steals art to use on her stream. So she is essentially stealing other people's intellectual property, and it's been proven that she's doing it.
Yeah.
And she's admitted it on Discord, and people have screenshots of her conversation. But she's accusing someone else of intellectual theft.
Yep.
It's like, that's great.
Just absolutely delightful.
Yeah, like, dang. So that was that story. So the next story I wanted to at least discuss, like I said, that was a quick story. This one was a little bit more in depth. Is recently Wizards of the Coast released Spelljammer. I personally will not be buying it. And I've seen quite a few others who will not as well. And the biggest reason is not because the game itself or the setting itself is bad. They've incorporated some things in there that are very problematic. The biggest one that's drawn the most controversy lately is a race known as the Hedozi, which are a race of monkey people who can glide, so flying monkeys.
Yeah, it's like sugar gliders.
Yeah, like sugar gliders. And their backstory is what makes them problematic. Not their gameplay mechanics. Their backstory. Just a straight up backstory. And I'm like, okay, let's see what the backstory was. So I looked into it because, you know, you listen to some things, but I think it was like Rule of Acquisition number 19, hear everything, trust nothing. Something like that.
Sounds plausible.
I think it's one of those.
You know them better than I do.
Yeah, it's because my older brother's a Trekkie. Like, my older brother, Anthony, is a massive Trekkie.
I'm pretty good on Trek. It's just DS9's one of the ones that I didn't watch all of, so...
Yeah.
And that's where we get most of them.
Yeah, so I will say the backstory is where it becomes problematic. If you were to make a checklist of African-American racial stereotypes that are negative, the Hedozi check marks off most of the list.
Yeah.
Like, a good deal of it. Wizard went to a planet. I'm shortening the story as much as I can because I'm not going to read, 10 pages of friggin' story.
Yeah.
So Wizard essentially went to a planet filled with monkeys. He decided, I'm going to torture monkeys and mess with them magically until they gain sentience, they become stronger and faster, all the physical attributes are enhanced, and I'm going to enslave them, and I'm going to sell them to the highest bidder.
Magically uplifted primate slave race.
Yep. The apprentice did not care for this and decided that he was going to help the Hedozi. And he helped kill the wizard. Thank you, Cyber Coyote, by the way, for the Smurf check-in. I appreciate it. Yo! Yeah, we're talking about Wizards of the Coast and some of the dumb shit they've done recently. So the apprentice basically saves the Hedozi from slavery and sends them back to their planet. In return, the Hedozi reproduce, they make more of them, and when they finally get off their planet again, they willingly decide to become a slave race, or a servant race in this case, under the elves, and they happily do so. And it's like, this is really bad.
Yep.
It's like, I know... FBI! Thank you, Squidgy. I know that Wizards hires sensitivity readers. That tends to be a thing.
Yep.
My question in this instance was, were they asleep when this happened? Or did they just not confer with the sensitivity readers? Or did the sensitivity readers essentially get to be conferred to and then immediately ignored? Like,
So,
I mean, there's quite a few options there.
I don't know how familiar you are with the background. One of the reasons this seemingly happened is, of course, in the original Spelljammer setting, the Hedozi were a thing, and that essentially was their bio. And it was written in the 1980s, and basically nobody had a second thought about it. And so when Wizards was updating the stuff, they're like, oh, okay, the Hedozi, we'll just bring those over. Not a big deal, right? Like I said, the sensitivity readers should have caught this. It could be that they just, were having an off day. But yeah, the
There's the other possibility I can think of now that I think about it. They could be so inundated with other stuff, especially with all the stuff coming in from 1D&D, that they just didn't notice it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't for a minute think that anyone at Wizards went, yeah, let's leave this in there. I like the implication. This is a mistake, and Wizards has said as much. They have publicly apologized. They've already digitally updated the digital copies of the book. They've issued a errata. Future printings are going to have it fixed. Changing the background of the Hedozi so it's not quite so problematic, let's say. So they're on this, but it's like, why did you miss this in the first place?
Yeah, it was like, wait, what happened? And that was the biggest problem. It was just like, why? Like, how did it happen? Why did it happen? And like, could anything been done to make it not happen? And I feel like the best way to describe it is probably giving take a couple months and give the sensitivity readers actually a chance to read it.
Yeah, that's a good point. This could be a product of just rushing.
Yeah,
and
because they were definitely trying to rush out not Starfinder. I always want to call it Starfinder. Sorry. Spelljammer before their announcement for 1D&D.
Yeah. I bet that was a time factor, and of course companies sometimes have like quarterly earnings reports and things that they want to make sure they get a product out right beforehand. The same thing happens with like video game companies. It's like they're rushing it out the door to meet a deadline, and it's like, if you just gave it just another month, you could have this fixed and you wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
Go down.
They're like, chill, guys, please. Guys, chill. Oh man, yeah, it was something that I noticed, and I was just like, that's problematic.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen other criticisms of the Spelljammer book. A lot of people think that it's not as mechanically strong as it could be. I know a lot of the older fans of the material are like, you changed it to the astral plane. That sucks now. We wanted it the other way. And I get all that. But yeah, the Hedozi was the thing that popped up on my radar like, ooh, yeah, you guys got to take care of this real quick. But I'm glad that they responded. They have addressed it probably as well as they could have under the circumstances. And hopefully they will give their sensitivity readers some more time next time.
I feel like those are the big things. The writers themselves, I don't know what to do about it. Because there has been a call to, how do I put it? Have them fired. And I don't know if that's the right method.
I wouldn't. And, you know, like I said, this is essentially a copy-paste from the old version. I don't think any writer sat down and came up with this new. This is what their background was. So, yeah. I guess if you want to fire the guy who wrote it for TSR 30 years ago, he's probably dead.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's your best bet there. I feel like that's the way to you have to deal with, and it sucks, but yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you have a writer who's constantly producing shit that the sensitivity writers are shaking their head at, then yeah, maybe let that guy go. But like I said, I think this is a pure. I copied and pasted because, you know, I wanted to make it so that the people who are fans of the old edition didn't have another thing to be pissed off about. And oh shit, there was a bunch of implicit racism in the old edition.
Whoops.
Womp womp.
Yeah, we totally forgot about. Whoopsie. Now what we're talking about, hon. So there is that. So I do have the feel good story now, since I think we've covered that. We covered what we thought about that. And this, not exactly a tabletop thing. Is the game meant to be... Oh, wait. Did I label it as Subnautica? Whoops. I just realized I screwed that up. My apologies. Thank you for helping me with that, Driz. Damn. I totally missed that.
Inbound message traffic.
I must have left that on from yesterday. That's okay. Hope your day's been great. Hope the games are going great tonight. Gotcha. Thanks. So the feel good story, and this is kind of the fun little haha. Thank you for the check-in there, Bread. Have one on the house. Thanks. So I learned about today. I'm today years old. When I learned about
megastructures are colossal
Brigadier General
out in the
Science Division reports a new
All right.
breakthrough.
So I learned about Brigadier General. Or no, is it Brigadier General or is it just Brigadier? I think it's just Brigadier. Brigadier Sir Nils Olaf III. He is a penguin, a king penguin who resides in the Edinburgh Zoo in Scotland. He is the mascot and the colonel-in-chief of the Norwegian's Kingsguard. He is the highest ranked animal in the military animal in the world.
Which is just adorable.
Yeah, and he inspects his troops every year. And you notice I said Sir Nils Olaf III. He has been knighted by Norway. The King of Norway knighted him. Professor Fail's like, what? Like, the fuck is this? You can look it up. It is the weirdest shit ever, and I love it to death. I'll share a link. That's not true. I just promoted my bearded dragon to Emperor of Yolden Lands. He even has his own tank. It's a 50-gallon. An animal has more achievements than I do. There's the link. There's the link to Brigadier Sir Nils Olaf III. Yeah, and he's officially a brigadier. Oh my god, that's fantastic. I love it. It's fucking adorable. There's pictures of him and everything on there. And it is just, I love it to death.
Don't piss with the penguin, it'll end in death.
Yeah, don't mess with the penguin. Because one or two things is going to happen. It's a flightless bird. Because you ever heard of the fight or flight response? Well, it doesn't have flight. So all it can do is fight you at this point. And some people are like, well, it's a penguin. It can't kill me. Well, one of two things is going to happen. Either A, nobody's ever found evidence of a penguin killing someone. Ever. And they've done it. or B, it's never happened, and they're kind of excuse me, cute and innocent and everything, which means you're going to officially piss off every military officer in Norway, if not most of NATO. And let me give you an idea of what will happen. Like, grunts don't like it when you shoot at their doc, which is their field medic. They're going to take a special exception, when you shoot at the damn penguin. Every military officer in Norway, isn't that like 3 people?
Mean.
I mean, technically that's not wrong.
You know what? I bet Norway has a fairly decent military, just because
Yeah.
they've had to deal with threats from Russian aggression.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's probably a decent-sized military force. I wouldn't doubt that.
Given how close to Russia they live.
Yeah, also given how close to Russia they are, too.
Yeah, that the Scandinavian countries have had to deal with that threat for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's just like, woof. But there we go. We have Brigadier Niels Olaf III. Oh, that's great.
That shouldn't be nearly as funny as
25,000 people right now. So that's 25,000 guys who are trained to kill people that are hunting you down, if not their NATO allies.
And don't forget, he's in a zoo in Scotland, and the Scots carry grudges.
Yeah, the Scots carry grudges forever.
That
Have you-
groundskeeper Willie bit kills me.
Have you ever heard of a group called the Black Watch?
No.
Okay, so they actually exist, and they are a group of Scottish guards that are there to protect the Queen
Okay.
of, in this case, England. They used to protect Scottish nobility, and then they kind of transitioned over to the Queen when Scotland became part of, that.
Sure.
All right. The Black Watch is not your stereotypical, palace guards. These are the guys that if someone ever actually took the Queen's life, their sole mission is to basically hunt you down and make your life miserable or kill you. Or both.
all of the above.
Nice.
All right. And these guys will carry the grudge to the ends of the earth. Like, part of their motto, like, I can't read their motto because it's in a language I cannot understand.
Sure.
But it roughly translates into, like, basically, there is no forgiveness, essentially.
Okay.
Or something about lack of forgiveness or something. Like, they have no mercy. 0.
People die to carry out this mission.
Yeah, they do not care about their lives or yours. They will...
They will end you to end you.
With that being said, there is a fictional universe that actually picked up the Black Watch. And that is actually the Battletech universe. And the Black Watch in the Battletech universe protected the Star Lords in the first, whatever the first Empire was, whatever they were called. I just had their
Science
name.
Division reports a new breakthrough.
I had the name, and I cannot remember it for the life of me. It's like the First Federation or something.
Yeah, I don't know the BattleTech universe very well, so I cannot help you.
But like when there was a rebellion in the First Federation, the Black Watch basically hunted down and murdered the shit out of the guy who killed the leadership. Like, violently. And
These are the guys who will put somebody's head on a pike.
and they took the better part of over 100 years to do it. I gotta send that tomorrow. Just got an email. Hey, Prophet! Welcome! So there's that. So speaking of crazy people who hold grudges forever sometimes, let's talk about fighters.
The classic default class of Dungeons and Dragons from the very beginning.
I.e., I'm gonna hit you, and I'm gonna keep hitting you with my weapon until you stop moving.
Yes.
Or I get bored.
The beatings will continue until I'm tired.
Yeah, until I'm tired. It's like, oh boy. So, with that being said, fighters, let's talk about
Construction
stats.
complete.
Because stats are important for fighters.
Your
All right.
classic fighter gonna be strength. Strength is number one.
Yep, strength is number 1. Con is number 2. But in 5e, you can do dex and con.
Yes.
Because the way they did 5e, the damage can be either or.
Yes,
Wait,
which
what the
is
hell?
a nice little add.
Yeah, so it makes the archer build a little bit more viable,
Yes.
as well as the finesse build. All of your mental stats are not that important, at least in 5e.
Right.
It depends on what you're building, but other than that, they're okay. Like if you're building a purple dragon knight, get some decent charisma. If you're doing an Eldridge Knight, throw some intelligence. Other than that, they're not important. At least in 5e.
Right.
In Pathfinder, on the other hand, strength, dex, con, in that order.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that, even though people are going to be like, hey, wait a minute, aren't you in heavy armor? Does not strength not matter in heavy armor? In Pathfinder, the fighter gains the ability to get more of his dex added to his AC while wearing heavy armor.
Yes.
So having that high dex really helps. So that is a really important thing to do. Races, I'm going to be brutally honest. Anything that has... As long as it doesn't have any penalties to physical stats, you're doing well. For the most part.
Try to avoid penalties to your physical stats. See if you can get something that either enhances your mobility or maybe just gives you a little more versatility. Hell, the human extra feet, can really help you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I really can't say anything more about that. I mean, you can do some kooky stuff with fighter. I mean, there's the Arakakra, which is you get flying.
Yeah, again, mobility.
Yeah, if you're doing a range build, that's really cool, and you can do some cool stuff with that. ASMR, you got some cool, nifty divine shit that you can do. Bugbear, you got the reach, which is helpful.
Reach is good for fighters, especially, yeah.
And dark vision. Dark vision is always helpful. Centaur is really kind of cool. Because you get the fake creature type, which makes it so that a lot of those spells that people throw at fighters to disable them aren't going to work as well. And you get charge, which is super helpful as well. So that's helpful. I wouldn't do Changeling. Changeling's not that great at it. Deep Gnome can be good, moderately. Dragonborn is a good choice because you do get that energy breath weapon.
Nice little versatility, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's super helpful. It can be nice, but with the thing you gotta worry about with that is you have to worry about with Dragonborn is what element you pick, and as long as you don't lean too heavily into it, because people can get resistance to that element once you get known.
Sure.
And that's a problem. Jorgar are going to be the same as dwarves. Dwarves make excellent fighters in 5e.
Yep.
It's really hard to say no to a fighter in 5e. It's just like, damn, man. I would... It's really hard. Can't think of any reason not to take dwarf, honestly. Maybe the speed in other editions.
It does, yeah, in some editions hamper your mobility just slightly. But but honestly, I think in that case it's worth it. Worst case scenario, you can burn a feat and pick back up 5 feet of movement in Pathfinder.
Yeah. Elves are okay as fighters. There's some aspects of them that work really well. There's some that don't in 5e. They kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to fighters.
Science Division reports success.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to doing something that's like a quote-unquote Gish build or Blade Singer where you're mixing fighter and magic, the elf is a good sweet spot. But as far as like a pure fighter, they do struggle a little bit just because, well, I mean, in many editions, they have a penalty to Constitution. And
Yeah.
dexterity, I mean, it's better in 5th edition. You can make a good elven fighter with a finesse weapon and a bow in 5th edition.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's not terrible. It's not great. A lot of their abilities that they get, because in 5e you don't have to worry about stats as much,
Right.
don't really lend themselves to fighter, but it's not terrible. Fairy is actually not a bad fighter if you're going to go dex fighter. Because they're small, hard to hit, and you can hit a lot. Githyanki, good fighter choice. Githzerai, not so good. Once again, their special abilities don't lend themselves to fighter like the Githyanki do.
Makes sense.
So there's that. Gnomes, decent fighters. They can be in 5e. Some more useful than others. Like a forest gnome, beautiful. Rock gnome, dumb as hell. It just, their race does not work for fighter at all. Goblin makes an excellent fighter because, once again, Fury of the Small.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to hit you, and the bigger you are for me, the more damage you take. Goliath is considered one of the classics in 5e for a fighter. I mean, you have athletics proficiency, which is nice, don't get me wrong, but it's the damage resistance, stone's endurance. Yeah, you get 1 skill, damage resistance to cold. Stone's endurance is basically an extra amount of damage you can take. And if you build your fighter right, you can be a tank without having to like go too heavy into tanking.
Makes sense.
It's kind of wild what you can do with that. Half elf, unless you're multi-classing, I don't see the need for it. And that's true for both 5e and Pathfinder.
Yeah, I mean, half elf, you're gonna be okay, but if you're optimizing, you can find something better.
Yeah. Half orc, decent choice. I wouldn't call it an amazing choice, but it's a good choice.
Sure.
Halfling in 5e actually works as a stout halfling.
Okay.
You get resistance to poison damage, and that's a big thing for you. And there's a lot of poison damages in the game.
Yeah.
So that's neat. Hobgoblin, they get something cool with their bonus action, which fighters don't get to use bonus actions often. So that helps. Human, we've already talked about. They're amazing as fighters because, extra feed, extra skill point, completely customizable, super cool. Gonna skip Kenku because there's not really much to say about them on that. Maybe a dex fighter, but they're more built for stealth.
Never much to say about Kenku unless you borrow it from somebody else.
Kobolds are actually amazing fighters.
Really?
Pack tactics.
Oh, yes. They do get pack tactics.
Pack tactics is amazing. And a superior dark vision. So it is amazing. And I they're just fun to play too. I love little kobolds. They're amusing. Leonin aren't bad. They get some cool stuff that really helps them with fighter. Same with lizard folk. Lizard folk are good for that. And it's a lot of kind of the same idea. It's just Leonin has dark vision and a skill with the roar for crowd control. Lizard folk have Hungry Jaws, natural armor, 2 skills outside of combat. But yeah, it's basically the Hungry Jaws and natural armor that makes them good.
Makes sense.
The Locath or
Lokatha is
Lokatha.
how I always pronounced it.
the Lokatha, they're an amazing aquatic fighter. I've seen them do devastating effects as a fighter, which is cool as hell.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
The Luxodon I have not seen really that useful in it as a fighter because their Serenity is kind of great for a fighter, but other than that, they don't really get much else.
Fair enough.
Minotaur fighters, once again, same thing with barbarians. You get free charge. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it, and you can do massive damage. Alwyn is the same reason why it's good as the Aarakocra. You fly. It's hard to beat that.
Flying is useful for almost every class.
Yeah, there are very few classes where flying is not useful, and they're not good classes that you want to usually play.
I mean, it's less important if you're playing something that's both A, long-ranged, and B, doesn't need to move around that much to begin with. So, like, a wizard, flying's a little less important, but it's still very useful. On the other hand, you do get the chance to pick it up later on as a spell, so that also kind of mitigates. So, it's less valuable on a wizard or perhaps a sorcerer type, but it's still very, very good before you can get to 3rd level spells.
Right. Which is helpful.
There's so many puzzles and traps and things in the game that are just completely negated if you fly. And speaking as a GM, I totally understand why Pathfinder was very, very reluctant to hand out flying to 1st level characters, usually saying, "Oh, you'll acquire it as you level up."
Yeah, which usually the rule of thumb I do is for natural flight, where you can have it at all times, level 12. Where it doesn't cost you anything, basically.
Yeah.
Spud, how's it going? It's going great, man. We're talking some D&D while I figure out what the fuck I'm doing in this game. Another fanatical purifier. Oh, it's only in one system. Shit, man. I can take you out. So that's Alan's Satyr, though. So many people are like, I feel like they really overlook Satyrs. And I'm going to be brutally honest, Satyr is broken as hell.
Okay.
And there's a reason why. It's really hard to say that you shouldn't play a Satyr for most classes. And here's the reason why. Do the customized origin, so you get the +2, +1. So +2 in one stat, +1 in another. Alright? You get 2 skills out of a list, and they're pretty good. You get the Fade creature type, which means any of the person spells, like Charm Person, Hold Person, etc., don't work on you.
Right.
Alright? And you get magic resistance against all spells.
Where's the lighter?
Right here, why?
Thank you.
What's going on? Are you gonna burn the boxes?
A little bit.
Okay, cool. My wife is setting fire shit.
Okay.
Burn! Fire! Anyway, But like satyrs also have mirthful leaps, which allows them. God damn it! There's another fireball. Of course, I call upon fire, and of course, people start fireballing.
Yep.
Of course. Satyrs also have mirthful leaps, which allows them to like jump really far.
Yep.
Which is really cool. So like,
not as good as flight, but a good backup option.
It's a good backup option if your DM especially has issues with flight.
Yeah.
Because I've known some DMs that look at players and gone, I am outlawing Aarakocra, I'm outlawing Owlins.
Where's the lever to open up the vent?
It should be over there. I don't remember. I don't remember, hon. You trying to burn it in the fireplace?
Yes.
I'll figure it out.
I'm trying. I knew you would play with it.
It might be on the bottom. Like left and right slide. Yep, she figured it out. Alright, hooray. Fire can commence. But I've known some DMs who basically say no flying races.
Because they're a pain to balance.
Which is fair. I mean, they are a pain to balance. So, Satyr is a good option that you can get around that, sort of.
Yep.
Sea Elves, we kind of discussed that with Elves. They're kind of like, okay, that's kind of neat. Same with the Shadowkai. Shifters. Shifters actually make decent fighters. Especially the Beast Tides, who get a bigger pool of temporary hit points. Modest AC bonus, which kind of helps a little bit. The Longtooth, once again, fighters don't get a lot of bonus actions. So the ability to make a bite attack as a bonus action is a good way to get some damage output.
Sure.
So, like, I'd heavily recommend it. Tabaxi's okay if you want to play your catfolk person with dark vision and, you know, some agility, cool. Tieflings. Tieflings don't usually make good fighters. With the exception of the winged tiefling.
Yeah.
Once again, flying. But
it's really just such a good ability that it almost trumps all the other considerations.
Yeah. Now, the upside is, here's the thing. Some people are like, should I do Aarakocra because I get more speed, or should I do Winged Tiefling? And I'm going to tell you right now, they both have good options. And here's the reason behind it. The good options between both is, do you want to get to your target faster, or do you want dark vision? I've always been more of the mind to take the dark vision and go slightly slower.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely make an argument for that.
What about you, Gamera?
I would say, just purely from a Pathfinder perspective, because I've played more of that,
complete.
I would probably go for the better flight speed, and the reason would be that acquiring permanent dark vision from a feat or background or item is a little easier than acquiring permanent flight, or at the very least, less expensive.
Well, no, the permanent flight is on both. It's just one has a faster flight speed than the other.
Right, that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, you can acquire permanent flight either way, but having the extra speed to get where you're going, I think is more important to me than having the dark vision, because dark vision is very easy to get. It's if you need it, you can get it, and if you don't want to get it, then you can work around things by casting light on something.
1 second. What?
It's not
Oh!
open. Yeah.
What the fuck?
I thought I had the vents open.
You got him closed?
It's not. No matter what I do, it's not. I'm trying to shut it.
Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta go fix this before my house fills with smoke.
Okay.
I'll be right back, guys. All right, the house is not on fire, just a little smoked. She thought she had the vent open. She didn't pull the right lever.
Ah, yes. That'll happen.
You know, pull the lever, crunk. Wrong lever. It's like, why do we even have that lever? So now we have like practically every door in the house and window in the house open to vent out the smoke while we get it going up the vent as well.
Absolutely.
Right. So once you vent out the smoke, hun, you can continue burning everything.
I feel really stupid right now.
Well, it happens. Oh, fuck, where I was leaving off. Oh, tieflings. So we do have a slight disagreement on...
Yeah, I would probably take the superior movement rate, just because, yeah, that's going to be harder to acquire than the dark vision in the long term. But in the short term, you know, I could definitely see a case for either choice.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. I have 3 wars going on in Stellaris.
3's a lot. I don't think I've ever done more than 2.
Well, I was doing 2, and then someone attacked one of my Imperial underlings.
Yep.
Because I started the Galactic Imperium.
Nice. Yeah, I did that the last game I played.
Yeah, I have started a Galactic Imperium for a safe and orderly society. I'm trying to catch up to this jerk who's going around blowing up everything. Get moving, guys. Okay. So, that's that. Turtles, not great fighters, because once again... You get a better AC, don't get me wrong.
Fleet action underway.
But other than that, not really much else. They don't offer any offensive abilities. Which is unfortunate. Alright. Yeah, it is starting to clear up. Tritons, once again, if you're fighting a...
You're doing like an aquatic campaign.
Yeah, the aquatic campaign. Have you ever done 4 wars?
Nope.
Because that's what I'm doing now. Jesus. Alright, let me handle these idiots and then I'll move on.
I'm thinking that you may not be popular.
Well, no, they're not me. They're not going against me.
I understand. I'm kidding.
Basic sustenance living standard band. What is the basic sustenance living standard? Is that something I've already done?
So in your policies and edicts, you can set like what your living standard is for your generic population, and I think basic subsistence is the lowest. So basically, everyone has food enough not to starve, but not beyond that very much.
Oh, my default rights is or is it stratified economy? No. I can't do utopian abundance. Okay, so everybody gets, I guess, academic privilege. Yeah. I have stratified economy right now. Yeah, we'll go with that. So,
I mean, yeah, as long as you're not on basic subsistence, and it looks like it's locked out for
What?
you anyway.
I don't know where you put it. I wasn't keeping track of your ring. Gotta drive, so I'll be working. Okay, Spud, no problem. Like I said, Tritons are good. Vidalcan, they're okay. Warforged, there's a reason why a lot of people said they were soldiers, is because they are the fighters.
Yeah, they're very good at it.
I mean, it's really hard to say no to that. It's like, god damn, dude. And then we got all the Genasi's, which are meh. They're meh at 10. And then we got the Yanti, which the Yanti actually also make a really good fighter. Because they also, like the Satyr, get magic resistance.
Yeah.
But they also get poison resistance, too.
Yep, I was going to say.
So that is really nice. You get resistance to 2 types of damage, and both damage types are high. I mean, that's hard to say yes to.
Hard to say no to.
Sorry, hard to say no to. Sorry. My brain just went stupid. Oh, okay. So that's the 5e races. Let's talk about Pathfinder. Like I said, anything that gives you any physical stat without minusing your other physical stats, definitely worth considering.
Sure. Yes.
Anything that stands out in particular, dwarves and humans, in my opinion.
Yeah.
At least for the base races. And the reason behind that is simple. Dwarves in Pathfinder get something called slow and steady, which means your armor, your weight, your equipment weight, and all that jazz will never, ever, ever slow you down.
If you don't move very fast.
But you only move 20 feet around, but there are ways to fix that.
Yes.
But you can wear heavy armor and still be moving the same speed.
Oh, yeah. Dwarves are excellent fighters because of that reason. The +2 con is really helpful as well.
Yep.
You can't hard to say no to that.
And your penalties in charisma, no one cares.
Yeah, so you're not the party's face. Whoa.
You're a fighter. You're not supposed to be.
Oh, God, you're not the one talking in the party. God forbid. It's...
Sorry, I remembered a moment from an old campaign of mine where we had, I think he was a dwarven fighter, and we had a half-elven, I want to say he was a bard or a rogue, but they met like the elven royalties for the first time, and the guy playing the bard, he went on for like a couple of paragraphs about the beauty of the elven queen, and then we look over as he finishes to the dwarf's player, and the dwarf's player says, yeah, ditto.
Yeah, ditto.
And I was like, ditto. That's just like, bravo.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Now, every now and then, there's nothing saying you can't play a high charisma dwarf fighter.
No.
If you want a good example of a high charisma dwarf fighter, look at Gimli in Lord of the Rings in the books.
Okay.
That dude's got some smooth moves.
I mean, he talked Galadriel out of 3 hairs.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's the big example I love pointing out. It's like, no one else ever accomplished that. And it was like, damn. It's like he's got some charisma behind him.
Absolutely.
And it's like, hell yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that. Humans, bonus feat, extra skill points.
Yeah, one of your weaknesses as a fighter in Pathfinder is just that, you don't have a good spread of skills, and you don't really need a huge one. But if you want to, contribute something other than, murder to the party, it might be nice to have a couple of skills you can cover, and human helps you do that.
Yeah, especially if you want to do like a crafting fighter.
Yeah, forge your own weapons and shit.
Yeah, especially if you take one feat, which I highly recommend if you're playing a fighter, and you do have craft, Master Craftsman. It allows you to make magical weapons and armor with your craft skill as the ranks in your craft skill as your caster level.
Yep.
And that is really, really good. It's like, goddamn, man. Impressive. And it's just like, whew. So there is that. Let us talk about skills. Alright? Now, like we said, fighters don't get a lot of skills. And I want to cover those before we do feats, because the feats list is going to be long. Alright, so skills. In 5e, athletics is a beautiful, beautiful skill to have.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of need it.
I mean, I guess if you could fly, you wouldn't need it as much.
Well, no, even if you have fly, you still need it.
Right, but not as much is what I'm saying.
Right, because in 5e, unless you're using the 1D&D rules, your grapple is athletics.
Yep.
And that is really good to have. So there is that. The next one is, I would recommend is perception. Once again,
I mean,
most rolled skill in the game.
Yep, good for everybody.
Yeah. And seeing as fighters don't have a lot of skills they need, it's something that you can use. I'm sitting here going through all of the races in my empire and setting their rights to academic privilege. I wish I could just select them all and just hit apply template. But the game doesn't let me do that. Almost done. Other fun skills to have: history and survival, I'd say. At least in 5e. History, if you have a lot of, I would say not a lot of wilderness encounters. But if you plan on being out in the wilderness, you know, kind of making your path, stuff like that, then I would heavily recommend getting survival. If you're not doing that, and that's not a thing that you normally do, then go for history or intimidation.
Intimidation was one of the ones that I was going to mention, just because it is a classic fighter thing. That is the one face skill that a fighter might sometimes want. Just to be the guy, it's like, okay, I can literally bend your femur into a pretzel. You're going to tell us what we need to know.
Yeah, tell me what I want to know, or I'll snap you in half. It's just like, damn, dude. So, I mean, those are always good. Let's talk about the Pathfinder skills, because once again, fighter doesn't get a lot.
Yep.
They don't get perception in Pathfinder.
No, I mean, you can still put points in it. You just don't get that nice little bonus for having as a class skill. Could be good to do a one-level dip into some other class, pick up something useful, and get it as a class skill and get the bonus, though.
Or take a trait that gives you it.
Or take a trait, yeah.
The trait I always love to take for any character, if I want perception, is Seeker.
Mm-hmm.
You get a +1 to perception, and perception becomes a class skill at all times. And that is really hard to, overlook.
Yeah. I would say that you may wish to consider Ride in Pathfinder. It doesn't seem to be something that 5e concerns itself with very much. That skill's kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I would say Ride is situationally useful.
Depends on the campaign.
Yeah.
But if anybody's going to be charging something on a horse to hit it, it's probably going to be you.
Yeah, that is true. I will say that is an accurate assessment.
Similarly, you could consider things like animal handling if that's your jam. Don't take it if it makes sense for your character, not to be like animal handler guy, because the druid and the ranger are going to do that better.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility. Knowledge, I would say dungeoneering's a decent one. Fighter's also a decent one to maybe consider nobility and royalty, just because you could end up being like a knight type. So you have a lot of fighters who come from that kind of semi-noble.
Squidgy, sorry, Squidgy did a hydrate and I missed it. Sorry. Have you played Vampire Requiem first or second edition? Someone also asked.
Vampire the Requiem.
That's New WAD, I believe.
That is the new WAD, yes.
We have played, I believe, first edition.
I think it was first edition that I played as well.
Yeah, it was the King's Willow game.
I guess I didn't even think about that one because I was playing a mage, obviously.
Yeah, that was a mixed game. The King's Willow game was a mixed game. We had two characters play vampire.
I did have an actual like pure vampire chronicle that I was in briefly as well.
Yeah.
I was like, vampires? Why would anyone want to be a vampire? I was a mage.
I'm about to be participating in one. Me and my homies are Devas. We will be hitmen. Ah, nice. That's not a bad decision. I will say that. That is not a bad decision. What is this game? This is Stellaris. I'm kind of playing my single player game while we're talking about tabletop games. Because I always have some sort of game in the background while I'm talking to keep you guys visually interested while we're discussing our topic. So that way it's not just me yapping on the camera. Because that's boring for, most people. Oh no, what is this? Oh, they're awake.
Did you wake up an ancient empire?
I didn't. The Covenant of Eurydice did.
Oops.
Yeah. Now they're gonna start expanding.
Is it a full awakening or just?
Yeah, that was a full awakening.
Oops.
Because they renamed themselves and everything.
Okay.
The Maori are reconquerors.
Good luck.
Yeah. As much as I liked doing this, I'm gonna have to move my forces to deal with him. I don't know if I can deal with that though.
I mean, my best tactic if I have to deal with something that has better forces is just make a really, really good space station and park as many fleets as I can there and just try and hope that they drop their fleets in one at a time to get cremated.
Yeah, the problem I'm seeing is I also have the L gate.
Uh-huh.
And I'm worried they'll try to come up to the L gate.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a system with the L gate. Shit. I need them to go back to the L gate. Alright, retreat back to the L gate, guys.
Retreat! Retreat! Advance to the rear.
So you are playing about the Dungeons and Dragons. I'm discussing the Dungeons and Dragons while we're playing Stellaris. Just started my first tabletop last week. Well, congrats and welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the fandom.
Yep, welcome to the fandom. You're probably going to be broke, but that's okay. That's A-okay. Alright. This is not what I needed at this time. I feel like that was probably the crisis, is this guy waking up.
I have bad news for you. I think it's almost never just one fallen empire waking up if that's the crisis. I think if they're the crisis, it has to be war in heaven.
Yeah, which means I think this one over here is going to wake up.
Okay.
I think that's what's going to happen. Because these guys are fanatic xenophobes.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones next to them are fanatic xenophiles. And they still have a 174,000 fleet in that system. With my space station, which has a 31k, so I'm going to need to up that. Let's see, hanger, missile gun, PD. Gonna put another big ion down. Hanger, missile gun, PD. Okay, there we go.
What year are you in that game?
24, 23.
Damn. Okay. If it's not a War in Heaven crisis, then whatever it is should show the hell on up.
Yeah, I know. We also have like the Desolators over here, and they've shown up, and like multiple Desolators keep popping up.
Desolators. Let's see.
Desolators are fanatic purifiers. They want to kill all life.
Oh, they might also have taken the tradition become the crisis, so they could theoretically be the crisis.
Yeah. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Yeah, fighter skills. Once again, knowledge engineering, intimidate, I both recommend. And then try to get perception
like
if you can.
I like knowledge, nobility, and royalty. It's a good one for fighters. Again, craft skills could be good for a fighter. If you're gonna go with like the build your own gear thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I would say that's that. Feats. Oh god, feats. Oh no, wait, 5e has backgrounds. My bad. I gotta cover those real quick. If you want some knowledge skills, Cloister Scholar or Sage, both good options. Criminal's not a bad idea if you want to get some stealth. Soldier and Folk Hero and Outlander are not all bad choices. Soldier's the best in terms of just what you get out of it. But Folk Hero has some good RP things to it.
It does. I really love the folk hero background.
Yeah. Outlander is good if you want to be like that wilderness kind of style hero. For feats, if you're going to go with crossbows, crossbow expert's really cool. Defensive duelist is really cool for finesse fighters. Thank you, Gray, for the check-in. Thank you, Mr. Flavor, for the check-in. Give the Chromatic Dragon is also kind of neat because you get some neat abilities like that. If you plan on ever using a musket, Gunner is damn helpful.
You haven't got to my favorites yet.
Great Weapon Master.
That is a good one. Yes, very much.
If you want to go for strict damage output. Heavy Armor Master. Great if you want some damage reduction for cheap. Lucky's good on everything.
Lucky's always good. Yeah.
Martial Adept is neat, and that can really be helpful. I believe it gives more superiority dice if memory serves.
Yes. Yeah.
That's good. Polearm Master is good if you want to be a defender. Sentinel, same thing with defender.
That's the pair that I love the most, the Polearm Master Sentinel combo.
Yeah, nothing moves anywhere. It's like, fuck you, you go nowhere.
Where you going? Nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere there. Nowhere, pal. It's like, yikes. I feel like I'm gonna need more of this real quick. Alright. There we go. Alright. I think I should just grab another fleet. Alright. So, yeah. Polearm Master and Sentinel, great choices, especially if you're building a defender. Combine that with... where was the other one I was looking at that was good for defenders?
I mean, toughness is actually fairly decent for
5e, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? You can do Great Weapon Master with Polearm Master. That is a two-handed weapon.
It is.
So there's a little extra damage for your defender build.
Yep.
So that is pain. Sharpshooter's good if you want to be an archer or some sort of range attacker. Skill expert, it's pretty good. Even though
Yeah, I mean, if you're like in a small party and you need to pick up some slack on covering some skills, yeah.
Yeah, it's something I would heavily recommend. I mean, it's hard to say no to it because it's like it's got some cool shit. Let's see, do I have anything cooler for that? Nope. All right. Oh yeah, okay, an improvement there. Slasher, I've actually gotten great mileage out of.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people are like, oh, it just slows them down. I'm like, yes, it slows them down. Which means I can kill them faster.
Yeah.
They can't run away. It's like, it's hard to run away when literally, I've cut your hamstring there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, goddamn. It just blows my mind sometimes when people skip that one.
Yeah.
There's another one. What was it? Basher or something? Or
there's one for each damage type. There's like Piercer and
yeah, I remember
Bludgeoner or Basher.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember Bludgeoner or something. I'm trying. Durable Crusher.
Crusher.
Yeah, it's really good for critical hits. So like, put it on a champion, where you have that better chance of critical hits, and oh, you're gonna make someone a very unhappy camper. So there is that. Piercer, once again, recommended if you're playing a bow user, I would say.
Sure. I'm actually halfway considering it for my bard with his rapier, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it for the polearm master though.
No, because you don't have a piercing weapon.
Yeah. Well, even if you went with a piercing weapon for your polearm, it's there are better feats out there, and while fighters get a crap ton of feats, they are not feat infinite. So you do have to pick and choose your feats, as well as, make sure that your stats are still going up too. Is it burning still, hon?
No. I'm trying. Annoyed my ring is now MIA.
Just set fire to more stuff. It'll make you feel better.
I'm kind of afraid to.
It's open. The vent is open. But yeah, all those are cool. Spell Sniper, I wouldn't recommend it for a fighter.
No.
Tavern Brawler, also skip it.
Mm-hmm.
Tough is pretty cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, having the extra hit points to be that wall of defense for your party can be very useful.
Oh yeah, it can be extremely useful. I can see it being definitely a useful thing. Warcaster is going to be needed if you're playing an Eldridge Knight. Everybody else doesn't need it.
Makes sense.
All right, so there is that. For fighters in Pathfinder, it really depends on your fighting style. It's
yeah. I would say improved initiative is good for everybody.
Oh yeah,
it's classic. But yeah, the others are going to be really specific depending on what kind of fighter you are. You could be the dodge mobility tree. You could be like the power attack tree. Just depends on what kind of guy you want to be.
Yeah. Other than that, if I was going to go for some stereotypical fighter feats, weapon focus, greater weapon focus, penetrating strike, greater penetrating strike, and weapon specialization in its tree.
Yeah. More accurate hits do more damage.
Yeah.
Ground objective secured.
I mean, it's really hard to, to nail it down other than pick feats that work with your class, your build.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of builds out there.
And so many feats.
Yeah, like, if we were to just focus on every build you could do as a fighter, I would be here for the next year.
Yeah, we couldn't take the time to do that.
It just, be careful about what feats you take, but keep those in mind. Alright, so for weapons in 5e, hand crossbow is actually really cool, especially if you get crossbow expert. Think of them as like dual wielding pistols. The glaive or the pike is a good polearm sentinel combo.
Yeah.
The greatsword maul is a two-handed for non-defenders. Great choice. The hand axe is a good high-strength two-weapon fighting weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So there
Sword
is
One
that.
Actual reports all ground objectives secured.
Okay. Sorry, I was looking at a ship and it's like, oh, your scientist died. I'm like, do I need him? Oh, I have one. Okay, I have a spare one. Longsword, Warpick, Warhammer, great high strength single-handed weapon. Longbow is a good archery one, unless you pick up crossbow expert. Either one works. Quarterstaff, spear, good one-handed polearm master weapon. Rapier, high dex weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Short sword, high dex, two-weapon fighting weapon. Those are the case for 5e. In Pathfinder, it depends on what you're aiming to do. If you're going two-handed, falchion, earthbreaker, and a Guisarm?
That's a good question. I always assumed it was Guisarm.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever it is. Those are the three I heavily recommend. That gives you piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I mean, the falchion is a wonderful critical hit range. Just does delightful things, and crits are so much more powerful in Pathfinder that they are a nice, worthwhile investment. Find something with an excellent extended crit range or a good crit multiplier.
Right. And so it's like, boom, nothing crazy there. The fuck? It says they're dead. They don't have an empire anymore, do they? Oh no, they have up there. Damn. Okay. I'll leave them be. Someone else will kill them off. I have a bigger fish to fry. AP! Hey! Doesn't look like they're leaving their area. Oh, their fleet power is superior, though. Damn. We're gonna have to work on this. Alright. There we go. 336. Okay, cool. Boom. Commence building. We'll build another fleet. Alright. Hey, Pete, welcome. We're talking D&D while we're, playing some Stellaris. Armor. If you're low dex in Pathfinder, still go... Well, actually, even your high dex in Pathfinder, go heavy armor. Heavy shield, full plate. Those are good choices unless you're using a two-handed weapon. Then just go full plate and a two-handed weapon. Both are good options. For 5e, full plate, pretty much. Unless you're a high dex build, then go studded leather.
Yeah.
And that's really the best thing you can do for fighters. role-playing suggestions with the fighters, because a lot of people tend to play their fighters like, I hit things a lot. Oh, actually, no, wait, there's something I forgot to mention with fighters in 5e. The subclasses.
Yes.
I neglected to mention that, and I'm sorry.
And we've got archetypes, I suppose, and
Yeah, in Pathfinder, we could cover that, true. Let's do subclasses first, because there are fewer subclasses. Alright. For those of you who love archery and want to shoot magical arrows and all that jazz, you have Arcane Archer. In 5e, Arcane Archer is kind of crap. And I hate saying that. A lot of their cool abilities are just not that great.
regrettable.
Yep. It sucks, and I was kind of hoping it would be better, but it's not. And there's sadly nothing we can do about that.
Hopefully, with the edition update, they'll clean that up, because that is a fun type of fighter to play.
Oh, yeah. It is an amazingly fun type of fighter to play. And I have a hard time saying no to it. Like when it's done well.
Yep.
Battlemaster is actually a better archer than the Arcane Archer. All those tactical abilities you get, the combat superiority, which is really cool. And you get all kinds of battle maneuvers that some of your archery attacks work with. Which is really neat. Now, in most editions of D&D, Cavalier has been kind of either niche or garbage.
Yes, that's fair.
5e is not the case. They actually fixed Cavalier.
Nice.
They are an amazing defender. One of the things they get is called Unwavering Mark. You put it on your foes, it makes your foes basically get disadvantaged to attack anybody who isn't you. And that is a great taunting/tanking mechanic. Because it's you're gonna hit shit unless you basically attack me. Then you got Hold the Line, which let me look up exactly the wording on this, because Cavalier is a little funny about its wording. Cavalier, there's Champion, Gunslinger. Had this up. Okay, let me look it up through this method. Cavalier. All right. Hold the line. You become a master of knocking down your enemies. Creatures provoke an attack of opportunity from you when they move 5 feet or more within your reach. And you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, the target's speed is reduced to 0 until the end of your next turn. So it's a slightly more potent Sentinel, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you get Furious Charger or Vicious Charger.
Construction complete.
So you can use your mount to really do some damage with that.
Construction complete.
And you can unleash some pain with it. Let me see. Furious Charger. If you move at least 10 feet in a straight line before attacking a creature, and when you hit the attack, the target must succeed on a strength saving throw 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your strength modifier, or be knocked prone. You can use this feature only once per turn. So you can just like knock someone down and be like, no. And then there's Vigilant Defender, which solves the major problem with defender bills in 5e. You combine it with Hold the Line, and you're going to be basically making no one move anywhere. Starting at 18th level, you respond to danger with extraordinary vigilance. In combat, you get a special reaction that you can only take once on every creature's turn except your turn. You can use this special reaction to make an opportunity attack, but you can't use it on the same turn you take a normal reaction. So you, like, it's basically you get a reaction, and you get a reaction, and you get a fucking stab, and you get a stab.
Yeah.
Stabs
Just
for everyone.
solves the reaction economy problem.
Yeah, which is great for defender builds. Which is really neat. If you want to build a defender and you're playing a fighter, play a cavalier. That is hands down my biggest suggestion for that. Because those abilities just lend themselves right into that, and you are going to kick ass.
A Satyr Cavalier with that magic resistance and that big leaping.
Oh yeah, big leaping, and God help you if you have a mount. You could Sun Wukong off that mountain, like smack someone straight in the skull.
Yeah, something like a mountain goat or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Champion is, hey, do you want more fighter? Well, we added fighter to your fighter, so you can fighter while you fighter.
Yeah.
It's very basic, it's very simple, but it works. It's hard to say, like so many people are like, oh, it's just, it's so simple. I'm like, yes, it's simple. Sometimes simple works.
Yep.
It's like,
it's simple, stupid. That's why they say that.
Yeah, it's like, god damn, man.
Construction complete.
Okay. So there's that.
FBI, open up!
Thank you. Oh, man. Ow, my leg suddenly started hurting.
Am I just not allowed to keep a ring for more than 2 years?
What? You still can't find it?
No.
My wife lost her ring and she's looking for it.
Hmm.
I remember I came home, so I remember taking it off because I washed my hands.
Right. So it's in the house. Yeah, Nani indeed. It's in the house somewhere. We know that. Remember, my wallet went missing for like a day or two.
Yeah, I'm irritated because it's like, where did I? It's not in where I normally would have put it.
Yeah.
Which is why I shouldn't take it off when I'm concussing because my brain hiccups.
Fair enough, fair enough.
It's just stupid.
Oh. Okay. So, where was it? Oh, fighter subtypes. Echo Knight. Alright, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this as honestly as I can. Matt Mercer is not a bad person. I do not hate Matt Mercer. I do not think he is a bad DM. He is, I think, a very good DM at what he does. Oh, I choke on my lungs here. I think I just felt the collective hate of all the Critical Role fans trying to choke me to death.
I was gonna say the critters are willing your death now.
Yeah,
Your
apparently.
time is limited.
Yeah, my time is limited. I'm gonna die. So I'm gonna say this. So I want to bring that up front first. I don't have any ill will against Matt Mercer or any of this shit. Like, I've watched Critical Role some. I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen some. And it's good. He does a good job as a DM. He is amazingly shit at balancing new content.
Yes.
My God. Like, it's creative. And I love the creative energy that goes into it. But Dudamancy, Echo Knight, and fucking,
Is Gunslinger?
the Blood Hunter.
Oh, the Blood Hunter, yeah.
Blood Hunter are horribly imbalanced. like Echo Knight is like I'm playing an Echo Knight right now because I wanted to give it a try and see how well it played, things of that nature.
Yeah.
I'm playing it in the Saturday Four Horsemen game.
Mm-hmm.
At level 4, I was level 4, and I'm playing a Goliath fighter with a one-handed weapon, and I took the dueling fighting style. Okay? I did 88 damage in a round.
Respectable.
At level 4.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to go all out because I mistakenly didn't use the class fully effectively.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little busted.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, dude.
Well, he's making content for his game.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe it is balanced for his game in the context that he's running. But once that shit hits, the mass market, so to speak, yeah. it definitely should come with some warning labels or some adjustments. Whew.
Yeah, like
I've heard stories.
God damn it! There is some shit, man. That class can do. Like I teleported through a wall of force at level 4.
Yeah.
It's like that should not be a thing.
I mean, I guess
Science
technically,
Division
if you had
reports a new
Misty Step
breakthrough.
as a spell, you could do Misty Step through a wall of force. That's
But
legit.
That's legit, but here's the thing. That still costs you a resource, correct?
It does, yes.
Casting
A
a
second
spell?
level spell slot.
Guess what Manifest Echo cost me?
Jack shit.
A bonus action.
And you could use it every round?
I can use it every round, and for 15 feet of movement, I can switch places with the Echo.
Ah, I see.
That's... And if the Echo ever goes more than 30 feet away from me, it poofs out of existence, like at the end of the round. So I can summon it as a bonus action up to 15 feet away, move it 30 feet, have it do its attacks with its thing, and then switch places with it. Or I could... Sorry, I can't make it do its attacks. That's a bonus action. I can switch places with it, and then go surprise and do my attacks.
Right, but you have to use a bonus action to summon it. So theoretically, you'd have to summon it, and then next round switch places with it.
Yeah.
Seems like it's a very bonus action intensive class.
The switching is not a bonus action.
Oh, I thought you said it was.
No. The making it attack was a bonus action.
But okay, so what does switching cost you?
Half of my movement, or
That's
not even half of my movement. It's 15 feet of my movement.
It's not an action at all.
No.
Well, then that's broken. Yes.
Yeah, like I'll read it to you because it's like, what the fuck is this? So you can manifest Echo within an occupied space 15 feet of you. It's gray, translucent, lasts until it's destroyed. It has 1 HP. AC is 14 plus your proficiency bonus. It can move 30 feet, no action required. You can tell it to move 30 feet. And if your Echo is ever more than 30 feet from you at the end of your turn, it is destroyed. At a bonus action, you can... Oh, no, it is a bonus action. As a bonus action, you can teleport, magically swapping places with your Echo 15 feet of movement, regardless of the distance between you. When you take an attack action on your turn, any attack you make with that action can originate from your space or the Echo's. And
Got it.
when a creature you see within 5 feet of your Echo moves at least 5 feet away from it, you can use your reaction to make an opportunity attack.
Yeah, I mean, not quite as horribly broken as I feared, but definitely very, very, very powerful.
Yeah, it is just like, damn, dude. Alright, so I would very much like to claim his systems. I know it's going to get his attention, but I need to spend some influence. 60, 480. God damn. Okay. There you go, 620. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give up... No, wait. Those don't do anything. Yeah, that doesn't help me. I wish you get influence back when you release a claim.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, where is he going? Okay, he's going north. Probably to Zutar's Maw. Which, that's going to be fun. What's my stations? 61k for the station. Oh. I'm still not done. Okay. Hangar, missile, gun, PD. There we go. A few more. Alright. So there is that. So yeah, Echo Knight is really powerful, like stupidly so.
Yeah, I would probably not allow it.
Like, bless Dalton's heart, he let me at least give it a try to see how like it is, because neither of us have ever played it. So we wanted to give it a try. The only time I would ever allow it is with an experienced player. Mm-hmm. And that is to make sure that I know for certain they are not going to abuse that shit.
Yeah.
Like, they'll keep it within reason. Is kind of my thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
Let's see, who's the next one? Eldridge Knight. Eldridge Knight. This is a good one, I'd say. Fighters usually have a lot of problems with utility outside of combat.
Mm-hmm.
And Eldridge Knight definitely helps improve that. What?
Flashing a little magic.
Yeah. I'll strike warfare. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of cool stuff, and you get war magic, which is really helpful, so on and so forth. Psy Warrior, it's kind of like Eldritch Knight in my opinion.
Flavored differently.
Flavored differently, you get a few different powers, but in general, it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it's bad, but that's just me. Purple Dragon Knight. Honestly, if you're going to play a Purple Dragon Knight, play a Paladin.
Okay.
At least your charisma will be more useful than just a couple of rallying cries. Or play a combat bard.
Sure, College of Swords.
Yeah, College of Swords bard. They do what the Purple Knight does better. Because, like, they can give, I think they can give inspiration at some point. Which is like, okay, that's not crazy, but it's not bad.
Right.
So there is that. Rune Knight can be cool. You can do some interesting roleplay stuff with it. Like, and put runes on your tools and your weapons and your abilities. And it does help. And each rune has their own upsides and downsides. So it's kind of a neat general idea, and I kind of want to try Rune Knight one day. It's kind of like someone. It's kind of like someone mixed fighter with a little bit of artificer.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So it could be fun. Samurai is the type of fighter you want to play if you want to go straight damage. Like, I just want to, kill things. That's kind of my goal. I want to kill everything. Yeah. I can't describe Samurai any better than that. Everything that...
Maximum kill.
Maximum kill. And that's all the subclasses for fighter. Let's talk about the archetypes and Pathfinder for fighter.
Yeah.
Where... D&D didn't get a solo archer ability. They had to share it with Battlemaster or Champion or Echo Knight, whichever one, though Echo Knight's more melee oriented. Pathfinder at least gets a good archer build.
Mm-hmm.
Their archery archetype is decently good. Like, is it outright amazing? No, but it will do the damn job, and it will do it well.
Yeah.
You're going to turn someone into a friggin' pincushion. uh, Armor Master, if you're building a defender, don't do Armor Master. A lot of its abilities are not well designed to be helpful, especially like some of their higher level ones where you can get it through magical items anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you're giving up a lot of cool shit for it. There's Brawler, which is kind of like the close weapon support group fighter archetype. Pick this guy if you want to just like be Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
And you just want to like pick up a chair and hit someone with it, like a lot. I mean, I don't know how else to put it than that.
I mean, who doesn't want to be Jackie Chan?
That's true. There's Cad, which is the master of the dirty tricks maneuvers. They're kind of a rogue.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's how it felt to me, like when I read it. It's like it feels like a rogue. I pay big bucks to be Jackie Chan. No, you want to do Jackie Chan? We have a monk build for you when we get to monks. That you will essentially be Jackie Chan. I can tell you how to build him as a monk. And you will be kicking so much ass.
Yeah.
Crossbowman is really kind of shitty to build. It's so hard to build to make it good. You'll have to use like Vital Strike to make it good. And even then, that's really iffy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how else to put it other than that. It's like, nah, it's not great. You want to be a spear wielder in Pathfinder, and there's the Dragoon. Don't do it! So many people are like, oh, I want to try the Dragoon. It seems like, I want to jump really high and stab people from above. That's not how it works.
No.
It's not what you think it is, and it doesn't work nearly as well.
Sadly, no Kane from Final Fantasy IV for you.
Yeah, it's not gonna work well, man. It sucks, but it's the way life is. What the fuck? Am I missing some? Oh, they're probably gonna be there later. Because it says I can't reinforce it. It says it's already at full strength. Okay.
Yeah, they're probably just shipping the ships over to the fleet.
Yeah, I'll have to wait until they get there. So that's Dragoon. It's not a class that I recommend. Freehand Fighter, also worthless. It's like, I don't have anything in my one hand. That's cute. That's also stupid as hell. Any fighter who doesn't have a weapon in either both hands or a... What the fuck is this? Oh, War Exhaustion 100%. Oh, did he finally get it? Okay, good. Maybe that war will end finally. I don't want it. But maybe they'll come up to some sort of peace agreement.
Yeah, the open hand concept is neat. You see that in some martial arts styles where you've got a weapon and you've got another hand that you're using for blocking and deflecting, which is cool in theory, but I just don't think that mechanically that archetype stands up.
No. I rarely found it did. And that's really sad. It could have done a great job, but it just didn't work out. Gladiator. Great RP idea, bad execution. And that's kind of sad. I feel like there should have been something done to make it better, but it wasn't. Martial Master. It basically, Good fighter. Yeah, they get one ability, but it is fantastic. You can use it 3 times a day plus half your level, and duration is a minute. Now, what does it do? It allows you to take one of your feats and exchange it for another feat.
Yep.
On the fly. Now, as someone who's new to the game, I would not recommend this archetype.
No, this is for somebody who knows the feat list backwards and forwards.
Yeah, you have to know that feat list really well and be able to utilize it wonderfully. When I first read the Book of Nine Swords and read like the Sword Sage and the Sword Masters, this is what I pictured as a more balanced version instead of what we got, if that makes sense. So there is that. Mobile fighter. You basically just corrected the biggest issue fighters have in most games. Mobility. You don't go very fast. You don't go very fast very quickly. You don't go very far very quickly. Mobile fighters goes, yeah, funny. I'm going to fix that. You can go rapid. You got rapid attacks, fleet-footed, whirlwind blitz. Oh my god, you can just hit everything. Mutation Warrior. Mutation Warrior is a mixture of alchemist meets fighter. Alchemist is the best way to describe it. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
You are basically drinking the Mr. Hyde potion and going, alright, I'm hulking out, and now I'm going to start stabbing the shit out of you. It's go time. And I love it. It looks like a fun idea, and I do want to give it a try one day.
Yeah.
Just kind of be like that guy that was like, oh yeah, me and my best friend, we kind of experimented with some potions, and then one day I turned into the Hulk. It was weird. I was like, alright. Cool. So there is that. It's kind of cool. Flannic Soldier doesn't work unless you have multiple fighters. And that almost never happens. It's not going to be a thing. Remember I told you that there was a better version of Dragoon later? That, like, you want to be the spear person and shanking people with spears? Polearm Master.
Yeah.
This is the guy you want if you want to use a spear. You basically are all about swinging that spear around, shanking some people, and it's going to be a bad day for everybody within your reach. And that's a fun time for you. Usually best for defender builds. I would say. Rough Rider is really weird because once again, you're focusing on a mount, where paladins kind of do that better. There's Savage Warrior, which is like, if you want to play this, you might just want to do Barbarian instead.
Yeah.
The feel of it just makes it feel like it should just be a Barbarian.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on. Shielded Fighter. If you want to use that shield to great effect, you can actually dual weapon fight with your shield. And that is what Shielded Fighter is all about. You're going to be shield bashing someone, slashing them with your sword, and then bashing your shield into them a second time. And as long as you're wearing a shield at later levels, you get damage reduction 5/0. Which is really easy to get a shield.
Yeah, that damage reduction is incredible. I love just having a little bit of unbypassable damage reduction.
Yeah. It is good, is well designed. I would highly recommend it. Where's First Wave? Oh, there's First Wave. No. There's a bunch of fleets around. I see Second Wave. I don't see First Wave. Fuck. Did first wave already get destroyed or something? That's weird. Okay. I don't know if these guys are going to fight, though. Oh, I should probably... Oh, yeah, it is upgrading. Okay, so it's building still. Alright. There's Tactician. Tactician's kind of meh out of 10 for me. I never really cared for it. The same with Thunder Striker and Tower Shield Specialist. It's like, I'm going to focus in being a wall. That's great. I can build walls with casters.
There are some of these archetypes, and that's a good example of one of them. And the teamwork fighter build from earlier is another good example that I think they put them in there for NPCs to use, so that GMs would have good, powerful archetypes to like. Oh, it's just a bunch of 5 fighters. Our party can overwhelm them. Fuck no, you can't. They've got teamwork. They're gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, they all have a bunch of teamwork feats, and they're a fucking giant shield wall, bitch. Come on, fight me. The inspiration, from what I understand, of the Paizo guys, because they mentioned this with some of the archetypes, the Phanex guys, it's obvious. It's the fucking Greeks and the Spartans and shit.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty much that. So I'd recommend just two-handed fighter. If you want damage output, two-handed fighter is your best bet. They are the Pathfinder damage output archetype for fighters.
Yes.
It's gonna hurt them. It's gonna hurt them a lot. If you want to do two-weapon fighting, two-weapon warrior is a good choice. So there's that. Unarmed fighter. This is a fighter attempting to be a monk, which is weird. I mean, you get... But there's a class that does this better than what unarmed fighter gets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Brawler.
Yeah. And just as a broader point, I think that Pathfinder really wanted to make a monk equivalent non-monk happen, so you didn't have to be restricted by the alignment stuff, so you didn't necessarily have to have mystic martial arts. They really wanted to make just like normal martial arts guy happen, and I don't know that they ever 100% did it, but Brawler was a much better effort than this.
Yeah. It came across to me as like, no, this needs to not be a thing. Unbreakables, once again, you're really tough to kill, but you don't really have a lot of damage output. Weapon Master, you're really good at one weapon. And that's it. And it's just like, no. I like some flexibility there. Thank you. So that's fighter. That is fighter. Any luck, hon?
I'm laying down so I didn't make myself upset and sick.
That's fair.
It's like, I don't have a clue where it could be because it's not in any of the usual places.
Yeah. Did you put it on top of the fireplace?
Nope. Check there. Check the coffee box. Check the cabinet. Whatever the key is. Check the shelf by the sink. Check your desk. Because 99% of the time when I take it off, it goes here.
Yeah. Did it go on the floor?
I can't really lean over right now.
Okay. I don't feel anything back there.
Yeah. I don't see it up here anywhere. I didn't see it on your desk anywhere.
We'll find it.
I'm mad. The second one was just poofed.
Yes, but in this case, we know no one ran off with it.
Unless it was a teeny human.
Yeah, I don't think they ran off with it. Alright.
I wouldn't put it past my teeny humans. Especially not when they're mad at mommy.
That's fair. Alright, let me go to just chatting. Here we go. Alright, we're going to go find someone to raid. because it's about that time.
Uh-huh.
So I want to make sure everybody knows that you take care of yourselves mentally and physically. That's important. It is always time for tea in the tavern. And let's find ourselves someone to raid. Who are we going to say hi to today? Let's see. A lot of Apex Legends and stuff tonight. Jit's playing Sea of Thieves. He usually comes in here. That Broke Nerd is doing Jedi Fallen Order. Trippy Joker's doing Fallout 4. That's a decent game. We got 2 Point Hospital, Dead by Daylight, Stardew Valley, which is Puzzle Monkey. Wise Zerial's doing Dying Light 2. Dell the one. Oh, I left that running. Shit. What is it? No, I don't care. Okay, what the? Alright, so let's see who else. Someone's playing Dream Daddy. Oh god. How is that being played on Twitch and them not losing their shit?
Maybe there's a streamer safe version or something? I don't know.
I hope. God damn. You heard of that game, haven't you?
I have heard people talk about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't have it yet, but it's something I might pick up another day. How do I want to do this? Yeah, we can go Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is a good story-based game. So we're gonna raid someone named Trippy Joker. So let me put that in here. Alright. So if you are a follower, if I could copy and paste, please. Thank you. Please use the following message. If you're a subscriber, please, by all means, use the following message. They're important. Stick around for the raid, because that gets you critical rolls, and critical rolls get you the ability to do things like Fireball My Tavern again, or choose what game I play on Wildcard Wednesdays, which is tomorrow, and I hope to see you all there. Or another option is for 50,000 points, you get your own audio-visual entry. So there's plenty of options. At least the face hugger got fireballed. That's my only solace.
I had to get one in.
The fucking little face-hugging bastard got fireballed. When I say kill it with fire, I mean that literally. Hey, AP, if you want to clip that, by all means, go ahead. That's another worthwhile clip. We fireballed the facehugger. God damn. I'll stick around for a little bit longer to get that in, because I know it takes you a little bit to clip it. Oh my god. Probably not long after I get off Twitch here, I'm going to try to find my wife's wedding ring. It's gone missing.
Yes.
So we should find that. And then probably burn some more cardboard. Now that I have the vent open. I wonder where she put it. It's got to be around here somewhere. I don't know if AP's clipping it or not. She's gone silent.
Very quiet. Too quiet.
Too quiet from the little mod of chaos there. Oh, she got it. Okay, cool. So she clipped it. Yay! Facehugger Fireball. Alright. With that being said, I will see you guys all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Stick around for the raid. Toodles.
Doodles.